Hello, good evening. This is Dirty 20 Gaming. My name is Kevin, and these wondrous people have joined me this evening to play a game to which the word wondrous probably doesn't apply unless you put the word dark either before or after it. But we will get to that in a minute. First, we gotta do some shout-outs here. The virtual tabletop we are using tonight is Astral VTT. If you go to Astral... well, look, it's coming up in chat right now. That should be there. That's not right. If you go to astraltabletop.com and input the code DIRTY20, maybe that's what it is. Something DIRTY20. You will get your first month free of a... There it is. Oh, okay. It was just... never mind. Thank you. Wow, what a professional I am. Can't watch chat.
You need a command.
Yeah, and haven't got a command in there. But you go there and use Dirty20 as a code. You will get 1 month of your annual membership free of a gold membership. So, that's that. We are art credits because we have some art that is done in the character art department. The art used for Aldith comes to us courtesy of Middle Earth Enterprises. And the art for Lucas is by our very own in-house, there it is, Thunderscape 7 art and technical help and overlays and one of the many, many people that keep me vaguely functional and able to do this on a regular basis. Speaking of people that are vaguely functional and keep me doing this on a regular basis. Oh, that was bad. Let's talk about our players. The tyranny of the organized. You have no idea. Oh, it's like watching giant robots do things correctly. Oh, this is creepy. But
I don't know. I always think robots do things correctly. It's just us that program them poorly.
Yes, yes. And you spoke, so let's do you first. ScarredAdventurer, you're with us tonight playing Lucas. Thank you very, very much for joining us. Where else can we find you currently?
Right now, you can't find me anywhere online because things are going so incredibly poorly on the website that I need to pretty much take a flamethrower to it, burn it to the ground, and then start over. Okay. You know, we're going to do that and probably move to rectangle outer past sky place, you know, that website. They're not paying me, so I'm not going to say what their name is, but still I do run a website called ScarredAdventurer.com. It'll hopefully be back up and running sometime in the future soon.
And on Sundays,
on Saturdays I'm doing these in order. You see me here today on Fridays, and on other Fridays you'll see me here doing Talk the Talk. On Saturdays you see me running my own game, Masks, A New Generation, Heroes 101, with a bunch of lovely people also in the same city as me, which was a funny thing that I didn't plan for, but it's what happened, so that's what happened. And then on Sundays I play a crazy monster named Creature that is very fun to play, and I greatly look forward to playing him again soon. And then on Mondays, I crash and I spend the entire day asleep until I need to go somewhere.
Creature is the most badass babysitter that has ever existed. Built to kill and ends up chasing around 3 feet of metallic goblin. Oh, it's so much fun.
I don't know how I became the mom. I want to say I became the dad, but we all know that would be wrong.
No, that is not correct. Next, we're going to cut across to the amazing, the talented, and the eternally calm VillaVillas. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for bringing William, the not eternally calm, to this game. And I know your world is very, very busy, but have you had any chance to do any streaming anywhere else?
Not lately. Still gotta get that. Gotta get back to that. When that will happen, you will be able to find me at twitch.tv/VillaVillas. I know that we gotta finish like Resident Evil 4. We have to finish Shadow Hearts, and I will definitely be doing, at least before the end of the month, a kind of like Halloweenish stream of D&D, probably the Death House from Curse of Strahd.
Okay,
if anybody would be interested in watching that.
Yes. Yeah.
That's kind of what's going on with me at the moment.
Yeah, that's a night. I'll get the rest of it out eventually. That house, that death house, it just grabs Halloween by the throat and just goes, "You think you're a hard ass?" Just beats it against the table. It's a great way to start an adventure, and I've heard that people have actually quit. The entire Strahd campaign is like, if that's like the first encounter, bullshit, I'm out of here. So, but sounds like fun. Thank you for being with us. I'm just going to keep going around the circle here. Playing Aldith for us tonight. The smiling Black Widow grandmother in the corner. CharisSophia, thank you so much for joining us. And yes, you see, you do have a command.
Well, yes, because I had one from 2 shows ago.
I changed the name.
You did change the name. You did change the name. Yes.
But
I don't know what I do. I do stuff. I play Minecraft. I play D&D. I DM D&D.
You play more Minecraft.
Try to post stuff at the ScarredAdventurer when it's up. I nag at other people to, hey, go post on the ScarredAdventurer. Yeah. Anyway, that's me.
Fix that website.
That's you. All right. And we will finish the circuit around the virtual room with playing Tathland for us this evening. And honestly, anybody that saw the last episode has been waiting a month to find out exactly what the hell happens next. But Doom Donkey, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
I know you were just streaming before you came here, so
that is
you're
true.
busy. You're busy in that world. Give us an overview.
Oh, well, yes. Hi, I'm the Doom Donkey. I stream every now and then on my channel. I've been a bit more consistent with it lately, actually, because though I do a variety of games on the channel, at the moment I've dove into Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it being a nice, long, big game, I've been able to consistently stream that, which has been a lot of fun. But yeah, it's long and the short of it.
Well, it has been a month since we played this, so nevermore, I don't think, has it ever been more appropriate to do the round the table introductions by way of in-person reviews in character of what the hell happened last time. Aldith, I think we're going to start with you. Excuse me.
What would I die for? What would I die for? What the hell kind of question is that? The world fell. Everyone who would die for something already has. How is that creature still alive to play guardian to his pet peasants, a random pack of paltry civilians not worth the rags on their backs? Oh, in search of his name, for God's sake. Oh, and that's another thing. That lord, or whatever he is, wants to kill all the gods and found a kingdom with these self-same peons. What is it with these peasants that powerful people are lining up to serve them? What would I die for? What do they live for?
Wow. The thought process was walking down the hall back towards the main central container in this underground fortress. And yes, I missed them too. I love Karis' recaps. We are now in this friggin' game. I want to do William next. William Sanguish. You've just seen what you've just seen, so take us through it.
As I look at these people hiding away in this sanctuary, it sickens me. How they cower away at the first sign of trouble, and how they seek protection of others. If you're not willing to fight tooth and nail for what you have and what you want, you're better off just being corpses, being the stepping stones for those who are willing to fight. Now the thief and her horse, she's willing. The dreamer, he would seek to enable the behavior. He must really not be from here. He's yet to realize that all he's doing is fattening the pigs up for slaughter. Now the rambler, now he knows how the world works. But what is his motivation, I wonder?
just because I want to end in the darkness. We're going to go with Lucas next.
Things are beginning to pick up. Getting a little tired of kneeling to peasants. The flattery, the working for it, it's not like me. I just want an army. What this Shatterbox is about to do. Things are about to get interesting. And every king needs an army. But an army needs generals.
Which brings us to our good friend, Tathlan.
This abomination of a place, led by an abomination of a person. They've got fake meat, fake food, fake lives. Oh, they're so pitiable. No, they're not even worth the meal. They could be useful as maybe leather, or maybe I can just have a little bit of fun with them if it wasn't for that noble whose feet. What does he think he is? Oh, that's right. He's fighting gods. Oh, this young one, he's going to squeal before he can't squeal anymore. And then that abomination will walk in and he can answer my questions. Or he will lose his last purpose.
And with that, Tathlan, you're in the middle of this room, 100 sets of eyes staring at you. A small dark object starts to fly towards you. It's not going to hit you, it's going to bounce and roll. But the darkness is getting bigger as it comes. You've seen this before. It's magical darkness, and bang, bang, you're in it. No one can see anything. In the words of chat, let's go.
As the darkness starts to come over Tathlan's face, anyone that's looking at will just see a smirk appear. As soon as he's covered, you'll probably hear a scream as a dagger goes plunging into this person's jawline there. Not too deep, just cutting before he drops the dagger and grabs it with his hand and rips the jaw off.
Okay. Give me... You tell me, sleight of hand or strength?
I would prefer sleight of hand.
Sleight of hand, absolutely. Yep, that makes sense. There's a trick to it. There's some leverage involved. This is a very good time. Actually, this is probably slightly too late to remind folks that there was an adult content warning in the introduction, and there will be adult content. In fact, there just was. So, yeah, reach in and grab. Give us the roll.
Oh no!
Can I?
9.
Oh, may I quickly jump in with if you're trying to rip off the jaw, maybe turn your fingers a little to the left, reach around, give you a little bit more pull.
Go ahead and hit that advantage button. Yeah.
23.
There it is. Yeah. I'm assuming, much to your chagrin, the abomination's voice in the darkness is correct. And you adjust and it comes off. The scream turns into a gurgle. There's no scream left because there's nothing for the thing to vibrate in.
Now, as a man of class yourself, why not give this gentleman what they called in my country a lovely flesh necktie?
Oh no, not. It's too early for that. He needs to be alive when that abomination walks in. He needs to see the suffering that these people are going to do if he doesn't answer my questions.
Oh, and then there are pressure points, and you just feel kind of hands on a hand, just moving your hand a little bit. Here, and here. I understand you're an artist, but torture is a bit of a family business.
Oh, what do you know? There might be hope for you after all. I was worried after you started feeding this scum. And as that happens, Tathan's going to, with his hand, just basically rip out, like stab his into the guy's eye and start ripping it out.
Absolutely. At this point, I mean, they are not resisting. There's no more rolls necessary. You can just take them apart as you wish. Very quickly, William, you see the magical darkness spread. You know who's in there, ish. You know who they're in there with. And you can see the Red Knight over here in sort of a daze as well.
So Lucas didn't go in the darkness, right?
He's standing perfectly still. I was thinking he did, but now at this, he's standing perfectly still. And it's almost like the armor is up.
Yeah.
But you can't see in it. It's almost like there's nothing in it at all.
Yeah. And to be clear, that voice was not out loud, right? That was a...
Oh, it's an in the head voice.
Yeah, exactly.
Or kind of like right next to the ear feeling voice.
It's an in the darkness thing. Gotcha. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No one else can hear it except for Tathlan.
So, William, given that information.
Well, given I can't see anything and I didn't hear anything.
Well, you probably would have heard a
Well, you would have heard yeah, the start of a scream. And then somebody being taken apart. Because, I mean, it's a different noise. There's some, it's not, It's not a fight. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. I'm just going to kind of wait and see what happens.
Okay. There is a stumbling sound because there were several people quite close to Tathlan, and you hear feet backing, some scuffling and not being able to move, but you hear other ones that are backing away, trying to find a way out of this immediate darkness. Back in the darkness, Tathlan, as your hand comes back from the eye, it's almost like there's a sparkle of light somehow in the darkness, but that's not possible, except you can see right above where you just took that eye out on the forehead, there's a little square about 2 centimeters on the side starting to light up under the skin.
I'm going to try and pick up the dagger again. I won't be able to see it, but I'm hoping that it's pretty reasonably easy to find.
Yeah.
It's like
if it's not easy enough to find, you have assistance.
Either way, so yeah, with the help of the darkness, this creepy darkness that keeps helping you, yeah.
Isn't that interesting? And I'm going to put the dagger right in the center of that square and start basically twisting it around, like digging it into it.
The split second you touch it, it just gets massively brighter. In this infinite darkness, there is this ball of nuclear blue light in front of you.
So I'm going to leave now.
In the hallway.
This doesn't exactly mesh well with what I am.
In the hallway, Eldith. You're walking along, frustrated, angry, but at least your mount is safe. You're heading back towards this common area where he keeps his slaves. That's not the word, but you know what I mean. And on his chest, a little square, about 10 centimeters square, lights up. And he looks down, and you hear him growl. And he starts to pick up the pace.
All right, I shall pick up the pace as well.
A couple seconds later, it turns into like the brightest LED flashlight you've ever seen. It is emitting a bright blue blaze off the center of his chest. And you, being who you are, know how fast you can go. It absolutely be everything you had to keep up.
Okay.
Do you do so, or do you lag behind, or?
I lag a bit behind, but I'm sort of mentally inventorying the weapons and moves I've got on me.
Absolutely. As he runs, you see the right arm of his suit start to modify through no apparent effort on his own. Plates are moving and opening, and other plates are sliding into positions, and blades are starting to come out and rotate into a stack, like a circle of them. And then the armor closes up around it. On the other arm, a sword starts to build itself section by section by section by section by section out of his other arm. And he's going to be back in the center chamber in a matter of moments.
On that note,
Pathland, yes, yeah.
Does this is it completely getting rid of the darkness, or is it like kind of just like concentrated, being pushed back itself?
There's still a closed door, but
yeah, there is between you and them. But Tathline, from where you are, the image in my head is like the half of a yin yang symbol. It's the perfect blackness, but there's this pellet of light in the middle of it. It doesn't radiate. It's just very bright if you look at it, but it's not taking away the magical darkness.
Okay, after that a bit, it's going to pull away. There's like, that must be the signal, and it's going to grab this kid by the hair again and walk out of the darkness towards where he remembered the door was.
Okay.
This time he's
walking out of
he's going to walk out of the darkness, and he's going to have the dagger basically perched up to where the jaw was.
Absolutely.
Essentially, just kind of like scraping it against, making sure this kid's in pain as it's going on.
Absolutely.
There's an easier
Lucas,
way to do this.
You said, did you say you dropped the darkness?
I'm about to.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
no, I didn't even say I dropped
Okay.
the darkness. It was just he was about to get out of here.
Yeah.
And back into his body.
Right. That's what I thought. Yeah. So.
But it's just kind of
There's an easier way to do this.
and the darkness just kind of falls around from the top first.
Yeah.
Like a magical cloud of pixie dust.
It just settles away, falls away like dust, leaving. Yeah.
Finding its way through any sort of crack or tile in the ground, and then quickly zooming back forward towards the suit of armor.
Yeah.
As unseemly as possible.
Yeah. Absolutely. Nobody's looking down right now, but
yeah, as
boom,
the darkness fades away and
Pathland revealed
again.
Yes.
And now we're going to see just how important you are to him.
William.
Pathland's basically just staring at the door.
Just waiting for that door to open. Absolutely. William, you see what's going on here. Now you can actually see what's going on here.
Seeing like the mangled face of this kid or boy.
Young adult.
Kid is
young
18
adult.
or
yeah, they're
too old.
Of the age of killed
It was-
consent. Yeah,
I believe he was 20 something.
20. Yeah, he's 20,
I
early
do
20s. Yes, yes.
Hmm.
That somehow makes it better. But anyway,
Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna watch.
Okay.
You see how it goes.
yep, I love it. This moment freezes in this room. Every other civilian is just staring at you in utter shock. As you take a moment to look around, though, those of you in this room see that all of them have a small sensor sort of thing in their forehead that is at that dimmer stage. You can just see it glowing through the skin. You can hear him coming before he gets there. Towards the door. The automatic doors slide open, and this steam-powered behemoth comes through and skids to a stop.
Easy now. I wouldn't want him to get... Oh, wait. Now, you're going to answer my questions. This facility... Why is it so cold in that room over there? Why are the cold dragons always coming here? What is fueling it?
I'm going to actually make a roll here. I normally wouldn't, but... Ooh. Yeah. He stops and he says, "It's called refrigeration. We grow protein here so we don't have to kill it. The dragons are here for the protein? And he looks at the person you're holding and all the others.
Well, I can tell you that this one would not carry much protein. I'm a bit versed in those matters. Now, why are you protecting them? What are you?
I'm a failure.
Well, isn't that the truth? And Tathline's gonna like start stabbing into the top of the jawline, like having muffled screams like, are you one of the ones from before times? The warriors?
Myself and this base are not from here.
Not from here like that one. Looking back at Lucas.
Not
Bones
from
from where I
here
am.
in time, not in space. And he looks back at Lucas.
So yeah, basically the same.
Gonna like pull the head back a bit. It's like, but you've been here for 20 years. Why for so long in this one little area, protecting such pitiful excuses?
Started off as a hobby.
Hobby, a thing like you having hobbies. You're not even alive.
The hand with the sword on it comes up and points. Says, from here up I am.
And how much of that body is that really? And then Tathline's gonna like stab the kid in the leg and like holding him up, pulling the dagger out again.
Mm-hmm. Aldous, yeah. Okay. So,
He's going to die of blood loss soon if you keep going so haphazardly at it.
Aldous, you've give me a stealth roll, please. Eight.
But they're pretty distracted.
Yeah, which means I'm actually going to give him a roll instead of just going, that doesn't reach his passive perception.
Distracted.
This is why we roll. This is how I roll, poorly. You absolutely, like, people are going, ooh, 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 but he is so totally focused on Tathline right now, he does not see you, and you are now immediately behind him. Tathline, you see his fingers start to move, and he starts to mutter.
Before you try anything, I'm going to kill this one if you do. And I'm sure that you will try to kill me afterwards. And I'm sure you might even succeed. But I can guarantee you, before that happens, I will kill every last one of them before you do. And then you'll have no more hobby.
The weapon, the daggers, or whatever they were, go back into the arm. The sword comes back down. He turns his arm like this, and up the inside of it, this little portal opens up, and it's entirely mechanical inside. And there's a row of diamonds of approximately 1,000 gold piece value each. And the door closes.
Does he say that out loud? Because I can't see what he's doing.
And from behind, give me a perception check.
Also,
you're close, yeah.
Pretty sure I know the answer to this, but gold piece value, I don't think has much value. Doesn't have much in this new world, does it?
No, I was very unsubtly suggesting that he has literally has an armful of resurrection spells at his disposal. And that's true res, because that's the big expensive one. 18, you see them inside his arm.
Even though I'm behind him. Okay.
Yeah, you see as he rotates, he does that, and as he rotates it back, the doors are closing, but you see that row of diamonds inside his arm.
Oh, so you can only get a couple back. Ooh. Where did this place come from? You said lost in time and space, as that one is over there. But where did this place come from?
Its expression changes and just goes cold. I'm getting bored now. Put him down. And he starts to walk directly towards you.
Yep, I didn't like that answer. And like stab up through the mouth into its brain.
Yep, absolutely. And yeah, and it just drops dead. He is closing with you. He will be in melee this next round.
I would like to intercept.
First, I'm going to give Eldith
Never mind.
an action because she's right behind them. So, what do you do?
So I am making a trip attack.
Yep.
Which means I attack with a weapon. If it hits, I add to the damage, and he's got to make a strength save against.
Absolutely.
Which he would probably.
You're behind him. You've got advantage on the attack.
All right. So, unarmed with the claw.
20 absolutely hits. And
Okay.
8 plus what is it?
Where do I roll? Let's see, superiority die here. Oops, only one of them.
That's okay. You just
Okay,
hit
superiority
delayed roll,
dice.
I think.
Delayed roll.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, just one of them. 5, yeah.
Five,
So an
okay.
additional 5 to the damage, and he's got to make a
Strength save versus
strength save, DC 16.
16. 4
Yeah,
plus
39.
4 plus
Yeah,
5.
he doesn't have any. He doesn't have
No.
any problems with that.
So you just oh, and this is with your claws. Perfect. So yeah, you reach out and rip out the steam-powered tendons in the back of his armor, and steam and hydraulic juice everywhere. And he starts to stumble, and he looks back at you, and he starts to fall forward and just hits the ground. Lucas. Everybody gets one action before we're gonna go. You guys surprised this. He was ready, but you surprised him anyway because.
Well, he just got tripped over. I don't think he was expecting that one.
He was not expecting that. Up until then, I was gonna roll initiative, but yeah, he's on his face now. So Lucas.
He's gonna walk over, just place with his blade, just kind of place it nice and firmly.
Yeah.
At where the neck meets the machine, right around the seams. It's kind of the.
You were more interesting a minute ago. Goodbye.
And just starts pushing the executioner's blade further down.
Yep. You feel it dig in, and it goes into the spine, and you feel what passes for a spinal column blended
Kill it!
with something metal. You hear, "Don't kill it." You are a millimeter away.
End it. It's an abomination. It doesn't deserve to live.
So
End
am I.
it.
We can't get out if it dies.
Clever girl.
She's right.
Lucas grabs it, pretty much throws his sword across the room, grabs him by the nape of the neck, just pulls him up.
Yep.
Then let us outside. And you can die here in peace. Or maybe set yourself back up together. Who knows? Who cares?
Something that destroys its own body like that. There's nothing coming back from that. He's already dead. Let him suffer in his own misery.
I know that, but we don't need to let him know that.
The lower door hisses open to let you out. Go.
The big room door, seat roof, 2.
Right.
Whatever that's called.
Yours opens as well. That door opens as well to go and get your.
And I
your
take off
steed.
down. I take off down the hallway to Bjorn and whatever flying
the
thing's name is.
Whatever. Yes. As you take off in that direction, you hear the.
She doesn't know what that is.
Is
you
it a
hear the
what's his name,
hemispheres
Bernard?
open.
Bernard,
Bernard, yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
You hear the hemisphere that you saw earlier opening again, so that when you get there, you'll be able to. The Griffin will be able to, or the Androsphinx will be able to fly out. You will be able to be either carried out by that, or ride back out the way you came in. The hallway's big enough.
Okay, but it can't get out the upper ramp because he couldn't come in the.
You know what?
Yes,
Don't
he
you
got
hop on your
flown in
horse
there,
and then we can, I can pick you. I bet Lucas is worried about me anyways.
I'm coming running in, and I tell the thing, you got to get us out now.
So you jump on Bjorn and boom, gone. Perfect. Okay.
And his last instruction was to do what I say within reason, so that's what I say.
Yep, absolutely. And they're gone. William, I keep coming back, and I'm just waiting for the explosion. What happens? The doors are open to freedom.
Hearing that if this guy dies, we won't be able to get out. William's just gonna turn around and start walking away.
Just dragging the axe. I don't know if any of you know who Joe Batifsplik is, but yeah, instead of the little cloud, it's the guy that was always under a little storm cloud. Everywhere he went, he had the worst luck in the world. Little cartoon character from a way long time ago. But I see that as William, except it's his axe he has to drag behind him.
So
Anyway,
Lucas is
you
going
head for
to
the door.
kind of
Lucas, yes.
roughly kind of toss him to the ground.
Yep.
And then he's going to just kind of walk past Tathlan and go, "Come on, let's go." I'm sorry, I've genuinely forgotten your name.
Oh, I haven't told you it yet. And then Tathlan's going to be like, he's going to like walk out backwards, basically focusing on that. As he goes past, pick up the jaw piece, and then do a bit of like a overly fancy bow. Like if any of you played The Witcher, how you have to like greet the
the multi-stage. Yeah.
Do that with the jawbone in his hand, and just walk out.
And then just gone. Which leaves Aldith. No, you're through the roof. William's out. Everybody's out.
No, we're out.
As you passed these final doors, they slam back shut again, and you hear them seal. You see that shimmer of the field being put back in place. And you make your way, you turn around, the ramp rises, and at the far end, you see the doors are open.
For the sake of this, I'm just going to say I picked up my sword on the way, walking back up.
Yeah.
I have a way to get it back, but I don't want to waste it right now.
So, what do you do? Do you head back to the surface?
Go back to the surface, and as Tathlan leaves, he's going to quickly do a twice over of the area to see if those wolves are still around.
Not to mention the other dragon.
Yeah, you haven't been all that. You haven't been gone all that long. The wolves are still tearing at what remains of the white dragon. As you come out, they do that thing where they look at you. You're not a major threat, and go back to gorging themselves.
What spoils me? At least I got some fine cuts before we went down there.
And spiraling down out of the sky, an Androsphinx with its prey in its claws. Oh no! Wait, no, you know.
No.
You know the prey.
Dagger will slice.
I just think, like, if you just see.
I'm just saying, you kill the Sphinx, it's coming back. You and your horse fall into the ground. It's not.
All I was saying was, if I saw an Androsphinx coming over the horizon with a horse in its claws, my first thought would be, oh, it got one. Oh, no, wait, we know somebody. Would be the second thought. Anyway, he swoops down, drops off Bjorn and Aldith, and then lands and looks over at you, Lucas, and looks you up and down.
Good boy, Bernard.
Tathlan will go over to Lucas as well. It's like, you will get the name when you deserve to hear it.
I don't
You
really
made
care.
some errors, but you made up for that at the end. I was a bit worried there for a second when you gave them food.
An army moves on its stomach.
Dragon?
Aldous,
Second dragon? Should be coming from underground like the first one did?
give me your perception check, please, Aldith. As you're kind of dragon.
Oh, I was looking at them, but fine. Sure, if I get a
They're
chance.
not listening. Nobody listened. You said it 4 times. Nobody listened. So 14.
Which is
It's not bad.
not
What
as
you
good as
do
my
piece
passive.
together is nothing is up. You base your premise is that nothing is up based on the wolves aren't being disturbed away from their food. You know food is scarce, but these wolves have already eaten a ton. So if they were afraid, they'd be gone. They're not. There's no earthquakes. The water's not tremoring. The shield is up around the place. There doesn't appear to be any dragon-related issues immediately forthwith.
No little steam puffs coming up
No
from
puffs of steam
empty
or
fire
water
puts that aren't there anymore.
No, you're looking around and there's no suggestion at this point of a second dragon.
Tathlan's gonna where he saw the wolves come out, because they kind of like crested over like a dune, didn't they, at first? Tathlan's going to go where he first saw them and just like basically look over to see where they came from.
Okay. Yep.
And not say anything anyway, he's just gonna start wandering off.
Okay. Of course, yeah. Yes.
What's up?
And
Hello.
Yeah. Lucas
And I'm
tries
going
to
to
stop you. Yeah. Aldous, sorry, I keep cutting you off.
No. We're all jumping in. So I'm looking around. Oh no, I just fed the horse, but I'm gonna be. It occurs to me that I'm going to have a food problem for Bjorn not terribly long from now, and I need to address that.
Yeah.
Because if it's going to take me a day or two to travel somewhere to address that, that's going to be a problem.
Yeah, and you have a vague idea of what direction the next oasis is. Weirdly enough, that's the direction that Tathlin is walking.
What a coincidence.
Lucas, you've yelled, "Stop, William!"
I didn't, not even yelled it, just...
We just said it, yeah, and then nobody listened.
Yeah, Tathlan was kind of like, why should I? And then just keep like walking.
Yep. So with that, Lucas, what do you add to... Oh, actually, let's add, let's do one more thing. Aldous, you're knowing that, do you move in that direction looking for fodder, or do you pick a different direction?
I will head that direction, and Tathlon, you're striding on purposefully, or are you just striding slowly?
I'd say it's with purpose, because he's just going to go to the crest and have like a view of the area. But so he's got purpose until that point at the very least.
So I will probably stay about halfway between Tathlon and William and Lucas.
Oh.
Back to the standoff, making sure I know where everybody is thing again. Yeah.
The master rogue. Where are you? A little bit behind and off to the left.
Yeah.
Lucas, that's what you see. The two of them heading like almost like one of them's tracking the other one up the hill towards this ridgeline.
The talker has potential. I haven't seen enough of the rest of you to make my decision yet. But he could be interesting.
And Lucas is saying this out loud. He's monologuing, essentially.
Yeah. So for the moment, you stay in that location, or are you moving along as well?
I'll move with the group for this, for the sake of just keeping us moving.
Okay. Which brings us to the ever active
Loquacious.
William. Yes, that's the word. Thank you. That's one of the words I could have chosen. I know several. But
yes, a whole
William,
50.
Yes. What's up? What is William doing?
This was an interesting little stop. I was tracking a band of gnolls, and then their tracks just seemingly disappeared in this area. Yep. The direction that they were going, is it conveniently where that little dune is?
Well, I mean, there's not a lot going on in the rest of this world, so yeah, it is oddly enough narratively necessary. Oh, this is so bad. But yes. So what I'm hearing is, with very helpful players, we are now moving towards the ridge line and on with the story.
As As I kind of walk up towards the dune, is like the dragon kind of off to the side with the wolves, or?
Yep, down and sort of out in front of this little village that was, and it still is there.
Okay. I'm gonna take a quick trip over to the dragon.
Okay. As you get close, the wolves are full now. They start backing away. I mean, a dragon's a big thing, so they're just wherever you are, they're at the other end or on the other side. They're not confronting you because you are clearly a predator, but you have access to the dragon as long as you keep an eye out.
I'm just gonna give a quick swing, just take a chunk off, you know, for save it for later.
Absolutely. And there was that reaction that caused a number of the scales to go sort of translucent and flexible. You see those as well. I don't think you saw those before because that happened after you went down the hole. So, yeah. Down at the tail, there's these weirdly translucent and flexible dragon scales. They're no longer white like the rest of the dragon.
Yeah. And you said, if I remember correctly, like once the color all drained from them, it kind of like shrunk in and that little side.
Yeah, it got smaller. It kind of looks in my head. They look like dragonfly wings, with the sort of veining in them.
Okay, I'll just take a chunk off of like perceived good material.
Yeah.
Just for the road.
And then head off. Absolutely. So while you're doing that, the other three of you, first Tathlan, you get to the top of this ridge line, and you kind of look back and then ahead again because behind you is like a small. You realize now that you're on this ridgeline, it's almost like a crater. But what you're looking at in front of you is clearly a trench, rather than a valley that just goes off into the distance.
Has Tathlan come across anything like this in the wasteland before?
Kind of. But give me an intelligence check to see if you make the leap in scale.
Oh, nice. Let's go flat. No, 17.
17, yeah. You know when you're at the beach and you throw a rock at a kid and you miss? I'm trying to put this in terms that Tathlan that will understand.
Yes, rock, not knife.
When's the last time the Tathlan missed?
It was about 6. He was at the beach. and the rock hits the sand and leaves that very distinctive sort of wedge shape in the sand.
Yes.
This looks like that, except the rock would have had to have been...
Does
and
it look
ended
like
up behind us?
Yeah, would have come this way or is it going out that way?
It looks like the bit you just came out of is where a piece hit. But this looks like where the main body hit and then skidded across the surface into the distance. It is almost perfectly straight. There is some right at the horizon. It starts to bend off to the right a little bit.
Tathlan's just gonna kind of like sit there, like fingers like this, and just wait for this slow strew of party members to reach the top of the ridge as well.
Eldith, you're next up on this ridge. And you see this. You saw what Tathlan saw. Now the both of you together realize this is fairly new. There is some growth on it, like lichens and mosses, but they've only been here a couple of decades.
About the age of the crater behind us?
Yes. And also about the time of right towards the end of the troubled times.
And so the larger piece looks like it's somewhere ahead.
Like it's over the horizon, kind of ahead. Horizon for somebody 2 meters tall is about 12 kilometers, if I remember correctly.
So I'll look down. I'll look down at Tathlan and, sort of curious to see if I can discern what he makes of it.
It's like Tathlan will just like kind of look up and be like, "Now that's quite interesting, isn't it? Part of this one, more over there. If there's more of the facility like that, filled with those failures of food and failures of people, maybe. But power. There's got to be power in there. Be very interesting."
So I shrug and I'll start Bjorn trotting that direction.
Actually, head down into that valley. Absolutely.
And we'll
if there's
try
gonna
because
be
we'll move a
water
little
anywhere,
fast, and I'll
yeah,
sort of see, and you know I can always report back.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a valley, so if there's going to be any moisture, it's going to get trapped down there. Tathlan, you see the horse-bound rogue head down the hill just as Lucas walks up. Not right beside, because you guys don't trust each other this much, but at a distance on the ridgeline.
This is right beside him because
it? Okay.
Lucas doesn't
Okay, yeah.
care.
Okay, so Lucas, you come up beside them and see now this valley ahead. You've seen trebuchet shot hit and skid in mud. That's what this looks like.
You say that you're new to this world. How
Yeah.
new?
When did we meet?
Actually, that's a good question. How long has it been?
What,
There's
3 hours?
Yeah, I was
I was
gonna
gonna
say,
say,
it's been no long rest. So yeah, it's been about 3 or 4 hours at the most. The
How it's
entire
been.
Cathedral Deep campaign lasted 11 and a half hours of game time. And that included an 8-hour long rest. So, sorry.
It's like, oh, not quite long ago at all.
I had a half hour to that.
Interesting. This has been here for 20 years. At least 2 decades. That child was born when that thing started talking to that community. It would be reasonable to think that this area and this thing has come down at about the same time. If that is a smaller part of it, there must be some quite interesting things over there. I don't know about forming your kingdom, but
I need soldiers. I need generals. I just want people to fight for me.
Ah, yes, fight the gods that you're so angry against. And Tathlan's going to start walking down.
At that point, you walk off the top, and now Lucas is up there by themselves for a moment. The camera doesn't even move because walking up beside them is William. Gnawing on a piece of dragon, or just is it like you're salting it and putting it away for later, or you're
Mute.
muted?
Just kind of tossing a bag, carrying it on his waist.
Okay. So you step up and see this ahead of you. Halfway down the hill to the bottom is Aldith. A quarter of the way down the hill is Tathlan. You step up beside Lucas on the ridge.
Kind of look over at Lucas. Just ignore him and kind of keep going walking.
Lucas,
It's
follow along eventually, or what's the plan?
it's kind of the same thing. It's one of those. I don't need to talk to you. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't need anything from you.
Yeah,
Why should I waste my breath?
absolutely. Everybody understands. You start to move forward.
I am, of course, dragging my axe.
Of course, yes. There is you are the
A
easiest
new little
person.
ridge inside of the big
Yeah.
huge ridge.
For somebody who hunts people for a living, you make yourself incredibly easy to follow.
It's a good way to find, like, it just comes to you.
Although apparently a line in the sand will hypnotize chickens, so at least you don't have to worry about getting hunted down by any chickens.
Basilisks.
Oh, no.
But back in
Um,
the unreal world.
this is Lucas just for the sake of doing it. Not even for the sake of doing it, just because he wants to know what's there.
Yeah.
And he kind of wants to get there fast. He's hopping on his Androsphinx because he hasn't sent him away yet.
No.
And just in a few big wing beats, gets off the ground.
Yeah.
And well, kind of gets up higher into the air and then just starts diving forward.
Okay. What you see as you go
Well,
higher
if you're
and
going to do that, then I'm going to, as soon as you start coming over and faster,
Yeah.
we'll start galloping.
You
Yeah, we'll
start
go up to a
galloping,
canter
yeah.
and then to a
And then-
gallop. And then,
yeah.
yeah.
the rest of you, Tathlan and William, are watching this like two teenagers with new cars. Yeah. You think this is not going to end well. You don't act like that in this world. That's not how you stay alive. But the two of them are clearly playing a game of mine or bigger. I need.
I mean, mine is bigger. It carries hers.
Perception.
Yeah.
I need a perception check from Aldith while flying full speed down an unknown valley on horseback, and I'm not going to give you disadvantage because I'm that nice.
Oh,
and Lucas, you are flying, so you
shouldn't
get
Bjorn
advantage.
run perception?
Well, Bjorn can roll too. Yeah, see how he does. Never mind.
Never mind, I'm fine.
Yeah, Bjorn can just
perception?
concentrate on not tripping on rocks. Yes, please. And yours is
How
with
crap
advantage.
is my perception? Ah, somewhat.
Nice.
Well, give the advantage roll.
6.
It's awful. So,
Yours might be bigger, but no.
the problem is that yours
There's
is
a lot
giving
of
you
sand in the eyes.
I was gonna exactly. It's giving you windburn. The new
my
helmet
dust.
that you got the helmet at the wrong angle, and the wind got in and gotten whatever passes for eyes under there.
In all honesty, Lucas isn't paying attention. He's
you
just
can't
going
see
forward
anyway.
Until,
Yeah, you're just
until he sees a clear stop, he doesn't care.
perfect. Meanwhile, on the ground, Aldith, we've established Bjorn can concentrate on running, and you're concentrate on sort of looking. You realize you don't have to be first to see it first. Not to mention first might get killed first. So what you see in the distance, in the far distance ahead of you, is that this valley, while it's generally triangular and narrowing, there's a place up ahead where it widens.
And it continues.
You're heading towards it, but it's like there's a like a bubble ahead of you.
Okay, I continue.
Actually, with a 24, as you get closer, you start to see more detail. There are the tips of odd trees start to show up, which is rare. The standing foliage in this world is very, very rare. The thing is, it's kind of purples and blues. And as you get even closer, you start to realize it's not foliage, it's the dead, fossilized remains of trees covered in lichens and funguses and draped in algae from a wet season at some point that's dried and gone crunchy on the branches. Some kind of weird undead tinsel. But there's definitely, even over the pounding of Bjorn's hooves and the pounding of your heart, there's water. You can hear it. Running water.
Is everything in there still dead? I mean, because I'm still keeping in mind plants for Bjorn.
You're still sort of just able to see the tops of the trees, but as you're getting closer, I mean, it's running water. If there's going to be anywhere where there is plant material, a riparian area near water, creekside, would certainly.
I won't go directly to that because I'm more curious about what's ahead.
It's in the open space ahead of you. Like as you're coming, it's coming over the horizon, you're seeing these trees. What you realize is that it's open because a stream is crossing this unnatural valley. There's a natural stream crossing it that's cut down the sides and is passing through.
Cuts across?
Across.
So it's even deeper.
Yeah, slightly deeper than this valley that you're in.
Okay. I'm going to continue on to the open space.
Okay. Lucas, you would certainly be the next person that realized, even in your not paying attention mode, you see this area open up ahead of you, and you see, because you're above out of this valley, you can see this natural river course that's come along. It's always been deep. It's almost Grand Canyon deep, but narrower, but it's obviously natural. And when this went through, it disturbed it, but it's cut a new path across the floor.
Okay.
And caused those walls to fall in on both sides and erode and get washed away, leaving this almost circular area.
Lucas is going to land
the next oasis, as it were. Yes.
Is going to land kind of on one of the ridges.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You look down into this area.
Yeah.
It is. It's like it's like somebody turned the color settings all wrong on a monitor showing a landscape. Because all the trees are pitch black and gray because they're made out of stone. Instead of the leaves, there's this dark purple and dark red and dark orange fungus in various shapes and forms. this dried up algae hanging and blowing in what little passes for a wind.
Lucas is going to stand there and wait for other people.
Okay.
But he's going to stand there kind of just as he's standing there. It becomes clear, based more on body posture, that he is amused.
Okay.
Because how else the hell are you supposed to be able to tell he's amused?
Yeah. Tathlan and William slugging it out old school, walking down the valley.
Actually walking.
They're gone pretty much quite quickly, especially once you see Lucas land. You can see he goes down and you can just barely see them in the distance. So you're getting to the point where you can just start to see these treetops in the distance that are all these weird colors.
Kathleen won't specifically react to it at the moment. What time of day is it actually? Like,
it is. Time here is odd. Days here are very, very long. There's 20 to 22 hours of daylight, and then sort of 7 to 8 hours of darkness.
all right, cool.
So it's late afternoon, but that lasts a long time.
Oh, slow time. Yeah, Tathlan's not going to change its pace or anything. Just going to keep on going. Of course, he's a bit curious about what's going on, but that's a problem for when he arrives.
I have a question now. How long will it take for both Tathlan and William to arrive?
It'll be a while. Enough time to give them a chance to have a conversation if they wish.
Okay. This is the question more of the...
I was at a gallop and they're just moseying. So.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Like, do I need to set up a terrible lean-to?
Not that length of time, no. You've only been going... Well, because of the speed you guys were going, it would have been a fairly long period of time. But this is clear to the next oasis. But...
probably conceivably what, like maybe like an hour and a half, something like that.
Yeah, at least, yeah. So you two, alone, with nobody watching. Silence reigns. 90 minutes of breathtaking silence.
It's a very
silent
loud
menace.
As William starts off down the trail, I mean, he's kind of keeping a lookout to see if those nail tracks kind of reappear anywhere.
Yeah. You see, I don't even need a roll there. Nope. They've not been down here. It looks for all intents and purposes like either your previous host or the dragon or something else, maybe the wolves, at that last oasis. So, contract solved, I guess, technically.
Oh, that's not solved till they're all dead.
Okay.
I guess I just keep on wandering forward until we find the next pack.
So, I mean, if they're going to be anywhere, they're like everything else. They got to have water. And this seems like this long valley ahead of you, especially once you get close enough to see what's happened with this crossing river. If other rivers and streams are crossing, this might be a fairly regular thing, which means this could be a series of oases to follow at least. Tracks like railroad ties. Anyway, so the two of you finally, well, no, you don't necessarily catch up. Not until, I mean, Lucas stopped. Aldith, did you stop? Did you head in? What's Aldith doing?
So Lucas is in his amused pose.
Way up there on the edge of the valley, yeah.
On the edge of the valley.
Yeah.
I'll smirk at him and I'll continue down in.
All right. As you sort of cross the ground into this, I used the word before, I'm going to use it again because I like it, riparian landscape, you come over this little lip and it's downhill. It's all gravel. It looks like this river has been bigger than this recently and taken all the sand and dirt away and left only untouched gravel. But then somehow the source of water has been lowered and now it's much smaller than it used to be. It would be easily crossed. but it appears to be clean, and it's bubbling as it moves along. As you sort of cross that boundary, there's it's almost like that fake grass on the ground, and Bjorn sort of tests it first, and he has a little shake and takes a half a step back, which usually means he doesn't like it.
Well, your belly is full at the moment anyway. Let's continue on and see what we see. And I'll knee and nudge him forward.
And as he steps forward, you look down and you see his hoof sinks about that far into this. And then when he lifts it, it leaves a print that starts to recover. It's almost like memory foam. And as he steps forward to the next one, he sort of gets used to it and starts to walk down over these green-covered rocks towards the water. He's sniffing, and he likes the smell of the water. The water smells clean.
Okay.
You very quickly, I'm going to put actually I can do this. I can put just you on this map. Let's do that. It's not too loud, but do this. Can you now see a map? I think I just saw it change in your reflection. It's actually animated. There's stuff flying and the river actually flows. It's a really cool asset from Astral.
And bird sound too.
Yeah, if it's too loud, I believe you can adjust it. If not, just let me know.
Okay, no, good.
But in this image, they are birds because these guys didn't make this for my story. What happens when you cross into this is they're bats. Daytime bats. They make this noise instead of being sort of beep, beep, beep. It's this noise, but it's their version of the sonar daylight search. And they're flitting from tree to tree. These weird discolored branches. But you can see clear water ahead. The tents are not there. That's you guys if you choose to set up camp here.
So, this is the edge of the valley. That trench thing from the crashed spaceship, which is not at all how Aldith would frame it, continues on.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. On the other side of this almost circular clearing, you can see it continues on far into the distance. This is just where a natural stream has cut across it.
I will continue past this to kind of scope and see a little bit further, and then I'll turn around and come back.
Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to adjust. Apparently it's a little loud on stream.
Before Tathlan and William come,
Yeah.
Lucas is just going to, after not hearing any screams or any sounds of, I'm dying, all that kind of stuff, Lucas is going to head down.
Okay, so you see her head into this darkness. Shoot, it is loud. I'm just going to do this. No, I'm not.
No.
All right, well, you're just going to have to put up with it being loud stream. I don't know how to fix it. I'm new to Astral. Apparently the bird sounds are slightly loud. But with that, you head down, so I will put you there as well.
I'm way off to the other side and heading up.
Heading up the other way already? Okay.
Yeah. And I'll kind of time it so that I'll time it. I'll go as far out as I think it would take me to then get back to where Lucas was about the time that Tathlan and William would arrive.
Absolutely. So
Sorry,
you scout
the other
forward.
Weirdos would arrive.
Yeah. So you're scouting
right
across the creek and up into the other direction, making sure. Absolutely. Yeah. No, you can't see the new map yet because I haven't moved the whole party there yet.
How can I change the sounds for the birds?
I'm trying to figure out how to audio player. I thought I muted it. I thought I paused it. Doesn't want to do any of these things. It says it's
Maybe if I
paused.
click
Stop
random
playing.
buttons.
It's always, that always
Mute
works.
tab. Mute tab. Do you have Chrome that you can mute the tab?
Ah. There's that.
I know what I can do. I thought I had this volume thing solved, but I was wrong. So what I'm going to do is put you back here.
Aha! I've done it.
No, that was me.
I've made it quiet.
There.
No, I hit a button. I hit the right button, but I was on Chrome, so that's a different thing.
Anyway.
Yes.
I just moved the. Forget it. We'll theater of the mind. It really doesn't matter.
Lucas magically turned things silently by on his helmet.
Oh, the humiliation of not quite knowing the VTT you're using. I will have that fixed for next week. They do some really cool animated maps. That was a lack of skill on my part, not on theirs. Anyway, Aldous, you make your way across this stream and look down this next part of the valley. It appears to continue on into the gathering gloom. Lucas, you come down where they were and see this. It's just, it looks like it's alive, but it's all funguses and algae and everything else. None of it's pretty. All of it's nasty, but there is at least clean water.
Lucas is going to find a tree kind of shaped thing.
Yeah.
And just start kind of making himself at home underneath it and get ready to...
It is literally a fossilized tree. So it is a tree made out of rock where you can see every detail of the bark that was there before.
I care less about that, more just about shelter.
Oh, yes, I know. I was just painting a picture. So you settle down to rest. Eventually, at about the same time, Aldous comes back on the other side, from the other side of the creek, and Tathman and William come over the crest behind you. By this point, it is getting, I mean, you're in the bottom of a fairly steep valley, so it's getting dark at least down here. Not dark, it's getting twilight down here in the bottom.
As Tathman reaches the crest of this and looks down to this river, he will wait there until William catches up.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as William's there, he's like, well, that's curious. When was the last time you've seen an actual river? So I haven't seen one for years.
About a month ago.
Which direction?
He points behind him.
I'm just going to assume that Tathlan. Interesting. Rivers are always a good sign, because rivers are what brings life. And when there's life, then there's the hunt. And he just kind of looks at William. Anyway, and just starts walking down the hill, going down to the river.
Let the hunt begin.
Down the hill.
Yeah.
The four of you come together in this little oasis. It is clear water. Everything else looks right, but it's off. There's bats flying around, insects, bugs, all the standard stuff. There doesn't appear to be... Yeah.
Go to the water and at first put his dagger in it, just swish it around a bit.
Mm-hmm.
See if it does anything weird, and if not, he's going to pull out his mug from the start.
Yeah.
And put it in the stream so it fills itself up naturally, and then have a look in there, see if there's anything gross that's gotten into it. And if it looks clean, he's going to take a nice good drink.
It is actually, it looks very clean. In fact, again, you get the impression there used to be a much higher water flow here, not that long ago, that's blown all the silt out. So it's really nice, crystal clean water. It's even vaguely cool.
Yeah, Tathlan's going to be thinking to himself about how he hasn't come across something like this in literal years. So he's just enjoying a nice crisp glass of water while ignoring everyone around him, I guess.
And Aldous comes up and is dismounting, and she raises her eyebrows. You drink water?
Why would I not? Anything that is pure is worth consumption.
Go ahead, William.
I just in my head, out of nowhere and completely breaking the story, Aldous takes a cup of coffee and goes.
As
comment.
William gets down to like the river, he's gonna go and look around to see if he sees any like tracks, any like animal droppings, anything that can give a hint of any perceived life that's not bugs in the area.
Give me a survival, because there's the bats and the bugs. Give me a survival check. 26. Oh, wow. You find on the far side of the creek, while you're looking around, at first there's nothing bigger than, it seems like a incredibly small ecosystem. It's just these bugs and the bats, and there's only about 3 kinds of bugs, and they eat each other, and then the bats eat the bugs, and that's about it. It seems to be a very limited system. But just on the other side of the creek, you can see where Aldith went up, but being on horseback, they sort of went the central easy way. You start scooting up on the hillsides a little bit here and there, and you find a row of footprints. Not gnolls, but there's it's almost a beaten path. 26. There was somewhere between 12 and 20 people in this group. Tattered, beat up shoes. Definitely not, the way they're walking, they're definitely not warriors. It's not thump, 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 thump march. It's wanders and follows the terrain, and they're not hidden at any point. But they're making good time.
Looking at the prints, is it all humanoid?
It is, yes.
Would it's by the, you said by the bank, right? So the ground is pretty muddy, so it should have a pretty good impression.
Yeah.
What kind of like general shoe wear do they have? Is it like more like boot oriented? Is there like, bare feet? Maybe like deep kind of like wooden or like gouges in the thing, like there might be like like really tall like wooden shoes or something.
Right. There's a mix, but the impression that you get is there's no really heavy footwear. There's no like you don't see hobnails, prints, or anything like that. There's nothing warlike about this group. It appears to be worn out shoes, some bare feet, a few with a brief impression of a heel at the back, or something like a worn out cowboy boot or something, to put it in modern parlance. But yeah, very much worn and tattered.
Taking a quick look at it, is there anything that's kind of like has a pretty deep impression, as though the person was carrying something heavy?
Ooh, good question. I will give you, with that 26, they were pulling a small cart. Like a person, I forget what they call it. It's almost like a rickshaw, but it's just got one axle and a small back and 2 arms on it. They were pulling that, and you can see the tracks are in this weird green stuff that passes for fake grass. You can see the track marks are still there, so they must have been quite heavy. They actually crushed the material more than the footprints did.
Okay. Do you have a general time frame of when they pass through the area?
You got a 26. Yes, you do. About a 10-day ago.
Okay. And you said that the wheels kind of crushed this whatever it is.
Yep.
In the ground.
I'm imagining lichen. It's very spongy and creepy.
Yeah. I'll kind of go in and take my axe and kind of dig into it and like pull it to see if I can kind of dig in, see kind of is it actually just a huge pile of lichen and moss, or is it something artificial-ish?
Yeah, you dig in and rip it up, and it comes up, and you can see the root mass on the bottom. It's not really roots, because it's a fungus. It's just so you can see the bases where it was attached to the rocks below. But it's definitely alive. and as what passes for lichen or moss.
Okay. And there's, like dirt and earth
There's
underneath.
a little bit of dirt below it and amongst the rocks.
Any worms or bugs or anything like that in there?
Very, very few that seem to be feeding off of that sort of semi-root system.
Okay. And I'll take a quick look at the river. Any fish?
No, not a one. The water is crystal clear, but there's no fish, no crayfish, no life of any sort in it.
Okay. I'm going to go and kind of follow the tracks. I'm going to ignore the water.
Yeah, and just keep going down the valley. All right. Yep. Okay. The rest. Lucas, we haven't talked to you in a while. Kathlan's having a drink. Eldith is having a poke around. William's wandering off into the distance. Dragging his axe. At the very least, he'll be easy to find.
Yeah. Knowing that he'll be easy to find, Lucas is pretty much just going to go, I'm tired.
Yep. So you just settle down by the water and start to have a bit of a drink, or?
Doesn't really need to drink. Doesn't bother doing it. Just.
Okay. I love asking leading questions. The water's perfectly safe. You have no way to know if you can trust me or not.
No. Lucas can summon
don't have
food and
to,
water
so yeah.
whenever he wants to.
Yeah. So, with that, are the ones that are
Actually, as
I saw an idea.
Lucas settles down, and just sort of, shrugs or disregards the water.
Yeah.
Just a speculative look. That food that you made, summoned, whatever you did, I don't suppose you could get grains and oats and things?
I can.
Maybe some hay?
I'll need to rest for a bit, but yeah. It's easy enough.
If anyone was looking at Tathline at that point, you'd hear him kind of like, you see him like sort of twitch a little bit at just hearing that.
Ooh. Oh my god, it's a vegan. Oh right, horses are vegan. Right.
I don't really need to eat. I don't really need to drink. That's usually just for making allies.
And as the darkness starts to gather, I'm going to use another word I haven't used in a long time. The gloaming in this valley thickens and deepens. It's a darkness that's almost like a mist. In fact, on this planet, at this time, it might well be a mist. But it's thick. Before the sun is even hit the horizon, it's hard to see very far. For a while. And then one of the moons comes up. There are two on this planet.
Are characters with dark vision able to see perfectly well?
Out to
Asking
a range of
for friends.
out to a range of 60 feet, as per usual. Yes.
Okay.
But this moon is glowing. The sun hasn't even set yet, so reflected sunlight. By the way, somebody pointed out on Twitter yesterday, the moon should kill vampires because it doesn't generate its own light. It's reflected sunlight. They should die.
It is. It's the same reason that you don't see any vampires in the continent of Africa. It's because someone already blessed the rains down there.
No, I got to come back from that. Okay.
You started it, Kevin.
As it settles in the darkness on this huge reflected moon. It's the moon those of you from this planet are used to. But it's different tonight.
Weird ass looking thing.
Yeah, it's way too big. It's way bigger than the one on your world, Lucas. It's way big and way close. Like it's here.
Is it the same goddess? She's a piece of shit.
This one looks like a rabbit reading a book. It's slightly different.
Okay, so not the
this is
same
getting
goddess.
ridiculous.
You know,
Okay,
this
I gotta
feels
drag
better.
this
I'm
back.
happy about this.
Okay. So you're doing that. The other three of you, this is your moon in various ways and forms. But tonight, there's a red pattern that starts to develop, like glowing lines on the surface of the moon, and it starts right dead center in the full moon. Thank you. Don't make him do more. Somebody Thunderscape just paid for the joke. A single red hexagon appears, and around it grow more. Another row of 6, and another row, and another row. But they start to deform. They start to bend and look out of shape. Not each one, but as they form, it's like they're on the surface of a ball. Now, I don't know what any of your cosmologies believe about the moon, but you look up and see it wrapped in a series of red hexagons that make it appear to be a sphere.
While this is happening, and it's like actually as the moon came up, and like Tathlan's gonna pull out his backpack as he did before, but this time he's gonna like take out this like little contraption, like sort of spread it out, which is just a nice table, and you see him take out like a nice cloth, like, and put it over top of it, and then you start seeing him take out these a plate, a knife, a fork, and then starts taking out the chopped pieces of dragon that he got earlier into these nice cut steaks, and puts 2 onto the plate, then takes his glass, puts it down, and pulls out a vial and pours the dragon's blood into the vial before sitting down in like crossed legs in front of this like little table and just basically watching the moon as he takes up the knife and fork and starts cutting the steak.
Oh yeah. The camera pans down and leaves you silhouetted against the moon as the tip of your dagger brings a piece of still dripping dragon meat up, and I'm assuming in the most delicate of fashion. This is the ultimate delicacy. I mean, dragon meat, right?
Is it still cold?
I also earlier it's always refrigerated apparently.
Yes, permanently refrigerated meat. Yes, you don't need a bag of colding when you have dragon meat. Oh no, you could use it as a bag of colding. Just slice it open and stuff inside and close it. Oh, brilliant! There, look at that. I broke my own.
I'm imagining a bag
Shit.
of colding, like the bag of bag of devouring. You just walk over to someone, shove someone's head into it.
Yes.
Hold it for a
Comes
few
out
seconds,
frozen.
remove it, and then just a big
Hit
ice
it with a
block.
hammer. But for this evening.
And Spiff helmet.
As you continue to watch, and as the night moves on, I'm not even going to ask who takes watch because we're not going to get to that yet. The sun, the real sun, you can tell up above the horizon, must be setting now because the moon itself stops reflecting light. But the grid remains. And then you see part of it break and start to lift, almost like a bubble is pushing out from inside, and two of these red lines break free and start to move ever so slowly. Again, I don't know what your character's views on cosmology are, but this is happening like 250,000 miles away. It's really going fast, but it's a long ways away. So it looks like, that is 25,000 miles a second. But these pieces like neon bars start to blow off the side of this moon. The rest of the hexes start to adjust and twist and flicker. And it looks like they're trying to fill the space. But it also looks like it isn't working. And these red bars start to rotate as they move away from the moon. They're not coming towards you. They're kind of going off at an angle. But as they do, the ground beneath you starts to shake and vibrate. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
No, please do react.
Has Tathlan seen anything like this before? Like,
up until this point, no. But it's a perfect question at a perfect time, because just as you think, I've never seen anything like this before.
I wouldn't be freaking out. He'd be quite enjoying the show, actually.
Because if no one freaks out, then Lucas is just going to look. This must be a regular occurrence.
Yeah, they're all regulars here, and it's like the guy that starts dancing on the table at the bar and nobody says anything. Oh well, must be a local thing.
I am looking
Aldous,
perplexed.
You are looking perplexed. William, you are like walking up the valley into the gathering darkness, as far as I know.
Yeah, I was like, how far away did William get?
Yeah, how far away? Well, by the time you see this and notice the redness start, you're out of sight. And you tell me, did you keep walking and just keep checking up, or did you stop there and watch, or?
We'll say yeah. If William's never seen anything like this before, he'll kind of watch it. Yeah.
So you stop. So you're standing sort of halfway up this valley side, just watching this happen. The three of you that have lived here are going, never seen this. Lucas, you've never been here. You've never seen this. But then you see something that you have all seen. One of these red bars starts to glow and then starts to burn and leave a trail. And it turns into what you have seen. It turns into a comet. Or not a comet, a meteorite, a falling star. And it disappears. The second one you see starting to tumble and starting to glow.
Are they heading towards us?
They're heading off to one side, so you're getting a nice angle.
Direction of the...
Almost all of them appear to start in the center of the sky. That's where the moon was, but it's heading off in an angle. And Aldous?
Direction of the... so we have yesterday's oasis that way, the continuing to the wreck, the larger wreck that way. From that, which way do the meteorites appear to be going?
So if you're looking in the direction you're going, so your past is behind you and your future is in front of you.
Okay.
It starts in the center of the sky and heads almost directly to your left.
Okay.
So it's not prophetically going over your goal by any stretch. And then,
due left or somewhat left?
Almost due left. You look back up at the moon, and the rest of this flickering structure is flickering more and more and more and more, and then one by one you see them go out. When the last one goes, you can't see that moon anymore because the sun has set completely. As they burned up in the atmosphere, or whatever your cosmology believes, the shaking stopped.
So does this happen every night, or?
Out of time and space. That's what he said. Time and space. Pebble goes through, creates the comets.
You fell from the sky. What do you know of it?
I know I fell from the sky for like 5 hours.
Okay, but you had a different viewpoint when you were in the sky, right?
Oh,
and he's also flying in Andrew Sphinx half the time. It's not always so simple.
I don't know. I just saw ground, bigger, funk.
You didn't. So wherever you were before this,
they're being put back together particle by particle.
Okay, I don't know what that means, but
it just means, you know how when you shatter a glass and it falls into millions of tiny pieces the size of sand? Well, now take those sand pieces and make them so small you can't see them. And someone attaching one bit by bit, like glue, and just shoving it in, hoping it'll all make sense later. And it doesn't. I don't know like half the shit that I'm supposed to know.
That doesn't even make any sense.
Yeah, doesn't it?
While they're having this argument, Tathlan will have like packed up his little thing, but he'll go over to the river and start like calmly washing his dishes in this water before like neatly putting everything back into his backpack.
As you rinse off the plate, there's a tiny piece that you missed that falls off and sort of falls down to the rocks at the bottom. And it's just sort of, it's white in the gathering gloom, and you watch it kind of go ping, ping, ping across a couple of pebbles. And then something comes out from under a rock, and it's gone. Just a little finger.
Yeah, so what kind of size finger?
Yeah, about a finger-sized finger.
Yeah, as that happens, it's like, the bugs, more bugs, always with the bugs.
Okay, that particular comment would not draw all this attention. He's muttering about bugs. Okay, that's fine.
So
I was assembled from many small little things that make one big thing, and to me, and now I'm here, and it was incredibly painful, and I get thrown from the sky to the ground, and I'm thinking, wow, this sucks again.
And you didn't notice anything about the moon while you were up there?
The moon was on the other side of the goddamn planet. How should I have seen the moon from where I was?
While
Okay.
they're talking,
just about to
and
get to William, yeah.
William's kind of off on his own after the whole spectacle with the moon happened. And you said the sun set and the moon also disappeared.
As the sun set, the light is no longer bouncing off of the moon, and you watch those hexes as you see the shatter, you see it break, you watch the rest of them go out, and so now the moon is just a dark, non-reflective object in the sky.
Okay. So what is the light situation at the moment?
Very low, starlight mostly. Yeah.
Okay. Because I'm like up on like another ridge, right?
Yep. You're just.
And they're still kind of like in the valley.
Yep.
Have they set a fire or anything like that?
Nope.
Set a burn.
Yeah.
No would burn. Yeah.
Nobody's asked yet, but yeah, there's nothing to burn.
Well, you know, they could have something on them.
No.
I could always
Nothing that
always
you
light that
see.
awesome
Yeah,
fire.
you look
It'll
back
burn
down
for a
the
while.
valley behind you, and there's no light source. No.
Okay. And it's too dark to possibly see where they are.
Unless you started heading back, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you have dark vision, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean,
Gets you 60 feet. It's not much.
Yeah.
depending on what the light is, it still would be dark.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a moment, stay where I am, and although I can't see anything, I'm gonna keep my ears out to hear for like any, especially if I'm on a like a ridge line. There's probably like loose gravel or anything like that to see if there's like any movement going around. So I can't see anything, but I can listen for the sound of like loose gravel.
Give me a survival roll. Do really well. Don't force me to give you advantage. That's really well. 22. You stop and you hear back the way you came. Just a couple pebbles roll down the hill. And then further away, like a small, I don't even want to call it a rock slide. It's more like a gravel slide. Just a couple square feet give away and move. And further away still, a slightly bigger one. Something is underground, moving back towards where you just came from.
I've kind of been on my own for quite a while, and you know, I've traveled around.
Yep.
Is there any things that might be like in this environment or in an environment kind of like this that I would at least have heard, you know, maybe like a folk tale of?
22 survival. You dig your heel into this dirt, and it's like, yeah, this is soft because it's just been chewed up. This is prime bullet country.
Alright.
Do they eat metal? I can't remember. Because if they do, I'm safe. Weirdly.
They eat everything in this world.
Yeah.
So, at least one bullet is heading back the way you just came. An
That
immoral decision looms. I'm going to give you a second because back at camp, I need, no, not from two of you. Tathlin, you're down at the river. You just saw the fingery thing. You're sort of stepping back with your clean dishes. Give me a survival or perception, your choice.
With those, I'll go with perception. Don't
Okay.
suppose I can use my passive, can I?
That's
fine. I'll take a
25. You
25.
probably take the 25. Yeah, you guys are getting all the good rolls, and I got all the crap. That's why I stopped rolling an hour ago.
I only get mediocre rolls, but it's doing me just fine.
I've
It's
gotten
enough.
complete crap
When I'm rolling
rolled.
5s and less, you guys are winning. 25. Yeah, and that's good because it's hard to see. It's hard to see a vibration in running water, but you see it. It's a standing wave that has nothing to do with the way the water is moving. It's just on the other side, coming out of the whole other side of the stream as far as you can see in the darkness. The whole other side of the stream is just going and something's coming.
Tathlin isn't going to say anything, but he will draw both his swords. You just hear. Actually, no, he's very deft. You wouldn't even hear the swing because it will be nice and quiet. And he's just going to very casually kind of walk back to the side of the bank and just sort of like perch there waiting.
Is he within eyesight of me when he
All
pulls
of
his
you
swords?
are, yeah, all of you can see each other for sure.
I mean, it is
Well,
also
I
dark
don't
as well.
have dark vision, so it's whatever I can see in starlight.
Yep.
But him getting up and moving.
And you see
Damn
all
it.
of a sudden he's all business again. May I make that assumption? Suddenly you're moving like you're in kill mode again.
It's like, actually, no, not really. Actually, he'll be more
Okay.
like still kind of like flourish, kind of like movement as he's just like fancily walking over back to the corner and just kind of like cross swords when he stands on the bank, just like waiting.
We've got something coming. Stand up now. Move.
I'm up.
Boom. The two of you stand. Now that you start looking around, you can see it to the whole other side of the thing, and you can see small little avalanches starting in the dirt. And just when you think, yeah.
No, it's like as Tathlin's standing completely still, I don't suppose I could get away with a stealth check at this point.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. You bet. Give me a stealth check.
22.
22. I'm just gonna write stealth. Lucas, you said stand and prepare.
Yeah. Sword. If anyone is looking at Lucas while he does this,
Mm-hmm.
it almost seems that the sword just kind of, he doesn't even really reach for the sword fully. He gets to about here, and the sword just kind of lifts up into his hand, kind of almost like you would with a magnet, just kind of shoots into his hand.
And then draws it out forward into the evening. Eldith.
I don't have any dark vision. I'm going to have to make kind of a perception roll to see what I perceive about what's going on. I mean, at Lucas's warning, I jumped to my feet and I'm looking
You
around.
can feel a wave of vibration coming at the very least. You can see sort of the creek and the rocks falling into the creek. You can see that much at the very least.
Okay, so I'm assuming dragon.
Okay, makes perfect sense. Just like Bickford is absolutely convinced the elves killed the spider. Yeah. So you are prepared for a dragon and you're waiting for that. What is Bjorn? You're on Bjorn? Off Bjorn?
I'm not on Bjorn
Okay.
yet. I'm nearby to Bjorn. I never removed his tack, so
No,
I could get on him,
but
but I'm not going to yet.
a foot and
Because right at the
near-
moment, I still need to feel the ground. If I'm up on Bjorn, I
Yes.
can't feel the ground. So
Absolutely. Bjorn
but I'm
is-
prepared to mount.
Yeah, Bjorn is going into, like, he knows something's coming. His nostrils are starting to flare. The eyes, even though they're useless in the dark, they're starting to get big. He's starting to breathe, and he's starting to go into warhorse mode on you.
I'm sure he assumes dragon too. That's
Absolutely.
so. Just yesterday, Well, just
Yep.
earlier today.
You told them. You told them. How many times do you have to tell these people? Dragons.
Bernard, support.
William. You've had a moment to think.
So a couple other questions.
Yeah.
How far away was that?
You'd been walking. We set out of sight. I think. What did you say? About 90 minutes. I think is what you said earlier.
Something probably.
Yeah.
But like, how far away did I hear the like gravel moving from me?
The first one was close, and then it moved away. And you decide how you take that. It looks for all the world like they came out and went nah, and turned and went the other way.
I know you said I had heard maybe like a folktale of bullet. Do
Yeah.
I know anything about them?
The basics. They basically swim through ground. They attack by ambush. And the one other thing you know about them is they travel in packs.
Okay.
And just to be absolutely clear, if you choose to leave, I have a plan.
I mean, we've got like 10 minutes.
Oh, that's not, yeah. I said I
Yeah,
have
we
a
got
plan. I didn't say we're
cliffhanger
going to
here.
execute it tonight. Yeah, we're setting up a four-corner cliffhanger.
They're
is
like
what
an
we're
hour
doing.
and a half
Like,
away.
it's
I
one of
can't
those-
help them anyways.
Yeah,
You
can't
don't
help
have a
them.
plan?
Yeah, they can't help you. Yeah.
I will. I'm gonna go and take a look around to see like what kind of like if there's like a boulder or something around me,
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to go and push that to make like a vibration, or like push it to make like a to get it moving, kind of like to like create vibrations or movement or whatnot. If you kind of get what I'm saying.
Oh, I absolutely get what you're saying. There's a convenient boulder right up at the top of, because when it drags through, it throws up rubble, right? So you scrabble up that last little bit to the very top of the ridge, and there's a big one, and you just put your foot on it and shove, and it stops, and then and starts to pick up speed, and it takes a bunch of shit with it, little stuff first, and then bigger and bigger stuff. You can see this sort of V forming. You can see how quickly that river must have cut through earlier, because this stuff is soft, this material. And it just boom, boom, boom. It does that thing where it looks like it's in slow motion. And again, it's just like what you saw with the moon earlier. It's not slow-mo. It's just so far away that the speed that it's traveling isn't, it takes up a tiny portion of your view. So it looks like it's in slow motion.
When I do that, do I know how far I am from the top of the ridge?
I had you right at the top, if that works. Like, it's a V-shaped valley with detritus ridges on both sides. You can find something lower if you want. I had said right to the top, but your choice.
Nope. As I go and push that boulder, I am booking it over the top of the
Just
ridge.
over the top. As you do, you skid down the other side and stop. You feel a vibration through your belly on the rocks. But it's back in the valley where you were. Something, probably a bullet, is coming to investigate that crashing rock.
As I'm at
I
the
love
top
that.
of the ridge.
Now what?
I'm at the top of the ridge. I am going to go and kind of look over the ridge and see what happens.
What you see, if I may. The boulder hits the bottom and skids to a stop. The vibration, you can feel it, and you can start to see almost like the Tasmanian Devil underground in the Bugs Bunny cartoons leaves that trail. The lump, just, and you've heard of them, but seeing one is different. 7 meters long, 20 feet, like a shark, comes out of the ground under that boulder, lifting the whole rock into the sky. as it arcs through the air like a shark with a seal. It's grinding the rock. And by the time it lands and goes back into the ground, it's surrounded just by pulverized gravel. That's what it's turned this boulder into. Back into the ground, and you can feel it in your belly again, moving. It's so close you can't tell the direction. Meanwhile, the three of you back at the campsite, prepared as prepared can be. The gravel starts to slide over here, you look, it's coming. The gravel starts to slide over here, you look, it's coming. There's more and more and more. Every time you look, every time it's coming, it's not coming. You almost out of excite. There's just no more adrenaline left. The entire other side of the creek is sliding in. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Like dolphins breaching out of the ground across the creek towards you. Until next week. That's where we're leaving that.
Knew it. I knew it.
I normally say, well, let's drop the curtain, but this seemed much more like a cliffhanger from the 50s. Until next week.
Well, 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yes.
Week after next.
Yes, 2 weeks from now, we will have a bullet fight. And I will fix that map so the volume is not deafening.
But the bats.
I know there's a way to do it, and to be fair, there's a bazillion people on Discord that will help me the second I ask. But that is my problem, and I've got 2 weeks to solve it. So
use a sonic boom from the bats to kill all the bullets.
There you go. That's an idea. And that's even without 2 weeks to think about it. So let's go.
I got a sword. That's all I can do is try to plunge it into a face.
Yeah. Everybody's got their own ways, and I love the fact that this is a fairly magic limited group, by which I say we have one half caster out of all of you.
And even your half caster is almost all out of spell slots. So it doesn't matter.
Because I'm never giving you a rest.
Now, I'm just hoping we can do a battle where I'm not terrified and shooting a bow from ages away.
Yeah, maybe this time you can avoid the fear.
Yeah.
But, let's start the thank yous tonight. Playing Tathland for us, Doom Donkey. It takes a level of guts to go as far as you went, especially in the first scene of a night, like taking the jaw off, ripping the eye out. I mean, I told you, bring me unlikable, unredeemable characters, and
irredeemable.
You showed up with bells on. This character is amazing. I don't know how we're going to break them. It's going to be so much fun figuring out how this character fits in this world. I'm looking forward to it very, very much. Thank you again for staying up all night again so you don't miss the show. We appreciate it so much.
It's worth it. It is worth it.
And I'm gonna piggyback on your thank you a little bit to spread it to everybody over at Roll for Damage. I didn't mention why we haven't been here for 3 weeks. It's because the wonderful people that you get to hang out with all the time invited me to be part of a 3-shot. And even though it interfered with this, I could not say no. I worked with them once before with Dead Aussie Gamer and company, and it's an amazing, amazing experience every time. So I don't know if you had anything to do with that getting me in that, but oh man, thank you to all the folks at R4D for that as well. And yes, thank you, Karis, for putting that up. Roll for Damage over on Twitch. Amazing shows. Scales Above is coming back on Fridays. They're having all kinds of wonderful stuff.
Eating with us.
Yeah.
I noticed as I was.
It's not competition. It's not. There's plenty of viewers.
We can go watch the VOD later. The VOD later.
Absolutely. But thank you so much for bringing this twisted bastard into this world. I appreciate it very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me. I love it.
You're very welcome. I'm having a blast. William Sanguish, the quietest player I've ever played that could actually speak. Our character, Villa, thank you so much for joining us. We've gotten a raised eyebrow out of him and one rage, so we're gonna see how this goes. Takes a lot to get William going, but we'll see how Tremors in his doorstep helps.
There was a moment at the end there where I was like, should I repeat the action of a previous character that you're familiar with in a very certain situation?
Yep.
That involved a very long drop and a dragon youngling. So I was like, yeah, I can't wait till from 2 weeks till now. It's gonna be interesting.
Because you've got a short-term and a long-term issue. Because you've got footprints and a bullet. Oh. Next, let's go with Lucas. Had an interesting night. Lucas spent all night tonight trying to be nonplussed. I very appreciate that, Scarred, very, very much. Is he starting to be plussed just a little bit now and then?
I'm not entirely certain. When it comes to himself, maybe a little bit.
Yeah.
But
We'll
he's
never
still
see
kind
it,
of
but,
in
yeah.
a bit of a he doesn't have a reason to care yet.
Yep.
He will eventually, but it's just
Yeah.
one of those.
I'll come right after your hit points. I'll make you care. The thing with egomaniacs is it's easy to figure out what causes them pain. You hurt them. So
Yeah. But it's one of those kill him off and then I'm
no. One of the gods will bring him back so they can punish him some more.
and then he will climb up and climb
That's
up
the
that
plan.
god's wrinkly beard and tear out teeth.
Well, he knows how to rip off a jaw. We know that. So, but
Yeah. I am still trying to find out exactly how to play him.
that's the best ones. I love the ones that you watch them happen rather than tell them what to do. Aldith. Oh, Aldith the mystery. I've called you Aldith the cool, Aldith the collected.
Calculating.
Calculating. Now it's the mystery. I'm very interested to see where this is going. Karis, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy streaming week to come and play with us. I know you like them dark and nasty, so I'm assuming you're enjoying this.
Nah.
But thank you so much. Go and watch all these people at all their wonderful places, and do other stuff with them to decompress from this in some cases. But
Yeah, come watch me tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for
Yes.
Masks.
Right here.
Heroes 101. And if you're
Yes.
watching this in the future, on YouTube, for instance,
it'll probably go up the same day because I'm really bad for that. I just did that today. It's like, oh crap, I'm a week behind, and I put everything on from the last week all on YouTube at the same time.
just show up to watch it.
Yes, and please do go over to astraltabletop.com and use the code DIRTY20 to get 1 month free from your purchase of an annual gold membership. The two thank yous that are left are the big ones. The fine and wondrous people in chat. I appreciate every single one of you. I appreciate the conversations that happen over there. Sometimes we get so sucked into the game we forget to look, but we never forget you're there. So thank you so much for that. And all the people in the future on YouTube, you watched all the way to here, hit the like button, please. Hit the dislike button if you must. If you're that person, go ahead. Apparently, it doesn't really matter. to the
Comment and tell
algorithm.
us about it.
And tell us, talk about
Yeah,
it very
like,
much.
tell us why you gave us a dislike. Like, how dare you?
From what I understand, the algorithm doesn't really care as long as I hit one of the thumbs.
Like, leave a
It
comment as
counts
to why.
engagement. So-
Leave a
Make sure
comment
to-
as to why I suck.
No, leave a comment as to why Bjorn is your favorite character.
Yes, the
Yes.
only redeemed character here is Bjorn.
Leave a
for now.
comment if
Leave
you
a
want
comment.
for now.
Or leave a comment if you want more
Bernard.
Bjorn and Bernard
And
moments.
Bernard.
You know,
William?
just the
Oh,
sorry.
Irish.
Villa, you were going to
things.
say?
Leave a comment so we know like what kind of like dining table kind of cover, like what embroidery would be on
Oh,
Tano.
yes. What style
Tatlan's
of
kind
lace?
of-
Yeah.
Yes. Way to pull.
And the final comment I have is because centaurs have 6 limbs, they are therefore insects. Please discuss this in the comment section.
And with that provocative thought, all that remains is the same thing that remains every time at the end. And it's always bittersweet because it means we're over, but I think it's a nice thing to say, so I'm going to do it. Until next time, please be nice to each other. Good night.
Farewell.